gas station off Route 9 has 4 pumps, and one of them has been broken since March.
You are standing at pump 2, holding the nozzle in a 12-year-old Honda, watching the numbers crawl. The wind smells like diesel and someone else's cigarette. Your phone buzzes in the pocket of a gray fleece you have owned since 2019. It is an email from your accountant. 3 lines, no subject worth reading. Your net worth, as of close of markets yesterday, has crossed $847 million. You read it twice. You put the phone back in your pocket. You finish filling the tank. Inside, the cashier sells you a coffee for $1.79 and does not look at your face. It started with a car wash. Not a real car wash, the self-service kind. 3 bays on a gravel lot off a county road in 2003. You were 24. You had $11,000 saved from a job that no longer exists. The lot was for sale because the owner had died and his son did not want it. You bought it for $42,000 with a small business loan and a co-signer who has since forgotten she ever signed anything. The bays took quarters. The vacuum took quarters. The change machine took $10 bills and gave back quarters. Your first month, after the loan payment and the electric bill, you cleared $211. You sat on the hood of your car in the empty lot at 10 at night, and you counted it twice. $211 for doing almost nothing. You had not touched the bays that month. A high school kid named Marco came on Sundays and hosed them down. You paid Marco $40 a Sunday, and he was happy with the arrangement. The quarters kept coming. The next month, it was $238. The month after that, $261. A dry winter helped. You did not buy anything with the money. You opened a second account at a different bank, and you let it sit there. The second year, you bought a second lot. This one had 4 bays and a coin-operated dog wash. The dog wash made $40 a week on its own. $40 a week for a machine you did not have to speak to. By the end of that year, you had a binder. Inside the binder were tabs. Behind each tab was a single page of numbers. Quarters in, electric out, water out, Marco out, loan out, what was left. The binder lived in a kitchen drawer next to the takeout menus. Your roommates thought you ran a laundromat. You did not correct them. By 27, you owned 6 lots, 22 bays, 3 dog washes, 2 coin-operated air pumps. You worked a regular job at a regular office, and nobody there knew about the binder. On Tuesdays at lunch, you walked across the parking lot and called the change truck driver to confirm the routes. You ate a sandwich while you talked to him. He thought you were a middle manager somewhere. You did not correct him either. The trick, you understood very early, was that nobody respected the businesses you were buying. Nobody talked about them at dinner parties. Nobody put them on a magazine cover. A self-service car wash is not a story anyone wants to tell. Which meant the price stayed low. Which meant the competition was old men who wanted out. Which meant you could buy them quietly, one at a time, for cash. At 30, you bought your first storage facility. 12 units off a state highway nobody used. The previous owner had let half the units sit empty for 2 years. Raised the rent by $15 a unit and put a sign on the road and filled it in 4 months. 12 units became 60. 60 became 200. Storage, you learned, is the same trick as the car wash. People pay you every month for a small concrete room they have already forgotten about. Some of them keep paying for 10 years. Some of them keep paying for 20. You raise the rent every January by $8, and almost nobody ever called. By 33, you had 4 storage facilities, 14 car wash lots, and a man named Hector who ran them all for a salary you set yourself. Hector thinks you are a small operator. He has never seen the binder.
The binder, by now, lives in a fireproof safe in your basement. You added ATM machines next. Not the bank kind, the independent kind. The ones in liquor stores and tattoo parlors that charge a $3 fee. You bought your first ATM for $2,200 in 2011. It cleared $140 a month after fees. You bought 2 more the next year, then 6, then 20. You hired a man named Eddie to refill them on a route. Eddie drives an unmarked van and is paid in direct deposit. He has never met you in person. By 36, you had 110 machines across 3 states. $3 at a time. 1,000,000 small surrenders by people who could not wait until morning. You added commercial cleaning contracts, the boring kind, office parks, medical buildings, nighttime crews. You bought 2 existing companies and merged them under a name that means nothing. The name is 2 consonants and a vowel. It fits on a uniform patch. The crews are good. The contracts renew. The clients almost never ask who owns it. When they do ask, your manager tells them it is a holding company out of state. That is technically true. The holding company has your name on it, 3 documents deep. Nobody has ever gone 3 documents deep. By 40, you had ice vending machines outside gas stations in 2 southern states. Each machine costs about $20,000 and clears between $400 and $800 a month, depending on the heat. You owned 140 of them at one point. You still own most of them. ICE does not care about a recession. ICE does not care about your branding. ICE cares only about July. At some point in your 40s, an accountant began calling you with quarterly reports. Her name is Linda. She has worked with you for 19 years. She lives in a different city. You have met her in person 4 times. Linda once told you, over the phone, that yours was the most deliberately uninteresting portfolio she had ever managed. She did not mean it as an insult. She meant it as a diagnosis. Nothing in the portfolio could be put on a billboard. Nothing in the portfolio had a founder story. Nothing in the portfolio would survive a pitch deck. Which was, she understood by the 7th year, the entire point. 6 years ago, you went to a networking event in a hotel ballroom because a friend asked you to. You wore khakis and a polo shirt and the same gray fleece you are wearing right now. A man in a suit looked at your shoes for a long second and then looked through you for the rest of the night. Later, in the parking lot, he could not find his car key, and he asked you, almost kindly, if you knew where the valet was. He had assumed you were the valet. You drove home in the Honda, and you did not feel insulted. You felt covered. The fleece is armor. The Honda is armor. The vinyl siding on the house is armor. Every piece of ordinariness is a wall between you and a conversation you do not want to have. The house is 1 story, 3 bedrooms, on a cul-de-sac where the loudest sound is a leaf blower on Saturdays. The neighbors think you are an insurance adjuster. You let them. Your wife thinks you do well enough. She thinks well enough means $110,000 a year. You have not lied to her. You have simply never corrected the number she carries in her head. Some nights that distinction feels thin. Most nights it feels like the truest kindness you have ever managed. Because the woman she is the woman she gets to be when she does not know. 2 years ago, your oldest friend called you on a Tuesday night. His name is Danny. You have known him since you were 9. He had been laid off in March and had not told anyone except his wife. By October, the savings were gone, and the second mortgage payment was 41 days late. He did not ask you for money on the phone. He asked you if you wanted to grab a coffee. You drove out to meet him at a diner with cracked vinyl booths and a waitress who had been there since the 80s. He talked around it for 40 minutes. He told you about his daughter's grades. He told you about a leak in the bathroom. When he finally got close to the thing, he could not look at you. He said he was looking at maybe $28,000 to get current on the house and the cards. He was not asking. He was thinking out loud at a man he trusted. In 60 seconds, in your phone, you could have moved $28,000 from one account to another, and he would have had it before he reached his car. You did not do that. You could not do that. Because the man Danny had known for 30 years was a guy who maybe had $3,000 in savings and a Honda with a dent in the bumper. If you wired him $28,000, he would not stop asking the question. He would ask it every night for the rest of his life. He would ask his wife. She would ask hers. And the friendship, in its old shape, would be over by the time the check cleared. So you did something else. You told him you had a cousin who managed a regional cleaning company, and they were looking for a route supervisor. The cousin did not exist. The company did. You owned it. The job paid $68,000 with benefits and a take-home van. You told him you would put in a word. You told him it might take a week. It took 3 days. Hector hired him on a Thursday. Danny got the offer letter and called you from his driveway, and you could hear him crying through the phone. He thanked you for putting in a word. You told him it was nothing. You told him he had carried you through a divorce in 2006, and you owed him 1,000 things he had never asked for. He took the job. The house got current in 2 months. He still works there. He does not know you signed off on the requisition that hired him. He does not know the fuel card he carries is funded through one of your accounts. He does not know any of it. He thinks he caught a break. He did catch a break. The break was you. He will never know that part. Most days this is fine. Some nights it is not. Some nights you sit in the kitchen at 1 a.m. with a glass of water, and you think about all the rooms inside your life that nobody else gets to walk into. The binder, now 4 binders, in the safe. The bank dashboards behind a hardware key on a laptop nobody else opens. The Vermont woodlot you bought to keep someone from clearing it. The small apartment in Lisbon that nobody knows you own, including the man who manages it. The 7 scholarships you fund every year at a state school under the name of a foundation that exists only on paper. Your wife sleeps upstairs. Your daughter is at college on what she believes are scholarships and loans. The scholarships are real. The loans are not. You make the payments through an account in a name that is not yours.
She tells you proudly when she pays her own phone bill, and you tell her you are proud of her, and that part is not a performance. Some afternoons, you watch a coworker open his lunch and count out the change for a vending machine, and you feel the weight of every dollar he is counting. You could end the counting for him in a minute and a half. You do not, because ending it would mean explaining it, and explaining it would mean ending the version of the world where he eats lunch next to you. There is a specific kind of loneliness in being the only person in a room who knows the size of the room. You have made your peace with it, or you have made an arrangement with it. Most days you cannot tell the difference. Most days it does not matter. The wind shifts at the gas station. The pump clicks off behind you. 847 million. You take the phone out of your pocket and read the email a third time. Linda has added a single line at the bottom. She has signed off with her initials the way she has for 19 years. The line says, quietly, "Congratulations, I suppose." You stand there for a moment in the parking lot of a gas station with one broken pump. An old pickup pulls in behind you. The driver glances at your Honda and looks past it. A woman with a stroller walks toward the convenience store and does not see you at all. Above the canopy, the sign for the gas station hums in a frequency you can feel in your jaw. You think about the first $211 in 2003. You think about Marco with the hose on Sunday mornings. You think about the binder in the kitchen drawer next to the takeout menus. You think about the second account at a different bank where you let it sit there. 847 million is a number. 211 is a number. Standing here in this parking lot with this exact wind, they feel like the same thing. The same quiet hum behind the same quiet day. You type a reply to Linda. 3 words. Noted. Thanks, Linda. You hit send. You put the phone back in your pocket. You replace the nozzle. You twist the gas cap on until it clicks 3 times. You walk inside the station and buy a second cup of coffee for your wife, because she likes the cheap roadside kind better than the one you make at home. The cashier asks if you want a bag. You tell her no. You carry the 2 coffees out across the lot in the early light. The Honda is 12 years old. The bumper has a dent in it from your daughter's tricycle when she was 4. You put the coffees in the cup holders. You sit there for a second before you turn the key. The thing about performing wealth is that the audience pays the price. Every dinner becomes an audition. Every friend becomes a potential ask. Every silence in a room becomes a question about you. The thing about building it, quietly, in places nobody respects enough to look at, is that there is no audience. And without the audience, there is no performance. And without the performance, what is left is the thing itself. A car wash on a county road. A storage unit off a state highway. An ATM in a liquor store. An ice machine outside a gas station in Alabama in July. A man in a fleece, in a Honda, in a parking lot, holding 2 coffees. Nobody at this gas station knows. Nobody on your street knows. Nobody at the office knows. Danny does not know. Marco, who is now 41 and runs a landscaping company in another state, does not know. Your wife does not know. Your daughter does not know. Linda knows the numbers. Linda does not know the life.
You start the Honda. It catches on the second try. It always catches on the second try. You pull out of the gas station onto the county road. The sun is low and white through the windshield. An hour from now, you will be at a desk in an office where a younger man will explain a small thing to you slowly. You will nod. You will ask a small question. You will let him feel patient. You will eat a turkey sandwich on a bench outside. You will drive home in the same Honda, past the same neighbor who feels sorry for you and waves anyway. Your wife will be in the garden. The casserole dish from last week will still be on the counter waiting to be returned. The system will keep running. The quarters will keep dropping into the bays. The units will keep renting. The ice will keep selling in July. Linda will send another email in 3 months. The number will be larger or smaller. It will not matter much either way. The point was never the number. The point was the morning. The point was the fleece. The point was the broken pump at the gas station on Route 9. The point was being a man nobody looks twice at, carrying 2 coffees in the kind of light that does not photograph well. You drive away. Nobody watches you go. That, after 22 years, is still the only victory that has ever mattered. And it is, exactly and forever, the one you designed.